Alright, two more heroes of SummerSlam and we can move on and do other cool stuff for this YouTube channel. What's up, guys? It's me, the ALE Double X Prince, and I'm with a new shirt simply because, I recorded a bunch of them on the same day. That's why the Rock one kind of came off crappy, but I'm not going to redo it just because pretty sure I said everything I could. I mean, he only did have only 5 matches on SummerSlam, but he did do a lot in SummerSlam. If you want more information, you can check out that video. But now let's talk about a guy who's actually had a pretty good amount of SummerSlam matches, to say the least. I mean, he has a total of 13 matches. Wow. And, you know what? We all thought he was going to come back to SummerSlam to compete sometime, but I guess not. But anyways, let's just start talking about it. We kick off his time in 1995 when he is known as Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He took on Bob Holly in a pretty okay-ish match. I rebooked SummerSlam 1995. You could watch that instead of the actual 1995 SummerSlam because that show was garbage. It was crap. 1996 he wasn't there, but 1997 he comes back in the best opening match in SummerSlam history. Mankind versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley. In a steel cage match. It was just one of the better cage matches. This was just a good old brawl. This was a very underrated feud back in the day. Eventually it becomes better when it's Triple H and Cactus Jack when they fought in 2000. Those were incredible matches, but people tend to forget this one, especially, which is weird because it's an opening match, so it's kind of like hard to forget it because this is, in fact, my favorite opener to a SummerSlam ever. You don't get bigger than this, so kudos for both men to kick it off, and it was just a really good match. But 1998, this is the launch of his career, even though he does tend to bury people. But I've talked about the feud between the Nation of Domination and D-Generation X as one of my favorite feuds in the Attitude Era. My favorite part is when DX imitates the Nation of Domination. That was just hilarious as hell. And it was just a good old fun match. I mean, Triple H, when Shawn Michaels left, he took over DX, and he was just a rocket star. Same with The Rock. He went, Farouk originally led the Nation of Domination, but eventually The Rock took over, and both men became stars. And this shows two big men in a ladder match. I always talk about this, two big men using one ladder and having a fantastic match with Triple H rightfully going over because at the time Triple H was on fire. This led to the huge launch of his career when people believed that Triple H could be possibly a future WWE World Champion or WWF World Champion if you want to go that route. But I mean, damn, Triple H has had a pretty good resume here, and we'll talk about his best match ever, or one of his best matches ever soon. So don't get just calm down, I'll get to it. But 1999, Steve Austin versus Triple H. Now this match was switched so many times. It was originally Stone Cold versus The Rock versus Triple H, Stone Cold versus Triple H versus The Big Show. They kept changing it, but then they eventually wanted to do Stone Cold versus Triple H, but then they're like, no, we need a triple threat match, and then they gave us Mankind in the match, and oddly enough, he won the match. Now, I'm going to just admit, this match was really good. I really, really enjoyed this match. It was a really good triple threat match. Very underrated for a main event for SummerSlam. But, yeah, no one talks about this match anymore. I don't know why. It's a really entertaining match. Granted, I was shocked that Mankind won. Everybody was shocked since he wasn't originally even going to be in the match. So it was just kind of a weird match. But it was great to see Mankind win the WWF Championship again. If anything, it was a good moment for him, but not as good as the time when he won it to The Rock, and he stands tall. And then, it was when Mankind winning the World Championship was competing with the Finger Poke of Doom. I mean, that's saying a lot. So, really, really appreciated that. But in 2000, he's in a big feud with Kurt Angle. The whole Stephanie and Triple H feud and Kurt Angle feud. The love triangle there, and then plus Rock as the WWF champion. It was just kind of back and forth. They should have just done Triple H versus Kurt Angle for the WWF championship, but instead we got this. The saddest part about this led to a concussion for Kurt Angle, so it was a pretty sad thing to not get a full-fledged triple threat match that we could have gotten. The Rock does go over It was great for him. You know, let's continue the feud for Triple H and Kurt Angle. That's the good part about this match, aside from, you know, everything else. So kudos for that. Yeah, let's move on. 2001, this is when he got injured during the Invasion angle, so he wasn't there. 2002, however, he comes back at the Royal Rumble. He wins it, beats Jericho. He's this unstoppable champion. He vacates the belt until they bring back the World Championship, but that's so much later. In between, Shawn Michaels returns. They're going to form DX once again, but Triple H pedigrees him and says, nope, I don't believe in DX anymore. That's the old news. It's time for me and stuff. So that feud was really good. And this is just going to be a one-off match, and that was it. But holy shit. Shawn Michaels and Triple H stole the night in this show. This match was one of the best. It was just this is how you properly do an unsanctioned match. I respect Seth Rollins and Triple H for doing the best that they could, but this is how you properly do an unsanctioned match. You don't go get better than this. Shawn Michaels and Triple H tore the house down. They beat the shit out of each other. Keep in mind, Triple H has torn quads, and Shawn Michaels has been retired from a back injury. So the fact that this ended the way it did, it was just fantastic that these two guys could still go at it. And this was originally going to be Shawn Michaels' retirement match, but then eventually, you know, he comes back to do some more years and had some of the best matches of all time with Kurt Angle, Jericho, Undertaker, of course, you know. But Triple H, on the other hand, he ended up being this world champion that will not stop. I mean, he just beat everybody, and people say that he buried everybody, and you can say that a lot in the Elimination Chamber. Now, Triple H was injured in this match, so he wasn't hardly even in the match. So Triple H is about to get out of his chamber. Shawn Michaels sweet chin musics him. Goldberg fucking cleans house. Eventually, it leads to just Goldberg and Triple H. Ric Flair hands Triple H the sledgehammer, and Goldberg loses, and Triple H wins the second ever Elimination Chamber match. So, you know, it was whatever. It was just Goldberg cleaning house. That's all I could say about 2003. And then 2004 was just a shit bomb for him. He takes on Eugene. Eugene of all people. I fucking hate Eugene. Yeah, fuck, I'll take Santino any day. At least Santino had the balls to imitate Stone Cold Steve Austin. Eugene was just a fucking moron, and I'm glad Triple H won this match. Otherwise, this would have been the end for Triple H right there. So, thank goodness for that. 2005, he wasn't there. 2006, he comes back with DX. You know, at the time, Triple H and Shawn Michaels had nothing to do, so they're like, fuck it, let's just form DX. And it had this pretty interesting feud with the McMahons. You know, it was originally just going to be Shawn and Vince, and then eventually became Shawn, Vince, Shane, and God. But then I feel like they went too far with that, and then, you know, they eventually did DX and the McMahons in here. It was an okay match. Nothing more to say. Their match, I don't forget, where the McMahons team up with the Big Show, that one was actually pretty cool. I really enjoyed that one. This one was, I mean, it was passable, I guess. So there was that. And then 2007 was a really, really tragic year for wrestling. It was just a shit year. Chris Benoit died, so he was out. You know, WWE had that in there. You know, they had to deal with that situation. John Cena was the top guy for too long. You know, they wanted new things. Triple H was injured, but then he comes back and he takes on King Booker, of all people, in a really, really disappointing match. You hear King Booker, or Booker T, my bad, against Triple H, and you expect a really good match, and it wasn't. It really wasn't. It was pretty disappointing. Go watch the WrestleMania 19 match. That is how you do a proper Booker T Triple H match. You know, besides the ending, which is Booker T losing. And, you know, I just feel bad for Booker T. Booker T could have easily been one of the top 5 guys to look out for. Eventually, he does go to TNA and does better over there. So, I mean, good for him. So, that's all I can say. Too bad for King Booker. Even though I didn't like King Booker, I still respect Booker T. He was a really good legend. So, there's that. Then SummerSlam 2008, I even reviewed this show, but You know, your big blockbuster matches with Batista and John Cena, Undertaker and Edge, non-title matches, but Triple H was the WWE champion. He takes on the Great Khali, and he fucking think about it. You have a Great Khali, a guy who could barely walk. You have Triple H, a guy with torn quads. You will have the WWE spinner belt, a pretty shitty feud, and you get a pretty decent match, I gotta say. This match was actually not as bad as I remembered it to be. It was actually a pretty enjoyable match, to say the least. I didn't think it was that bad. I think these guys had a pretty good match. It's showing easily Great Khali's best match ever, which is not saying a lot, but they actually pulled off a pretty decent match, and I gotta give him props for that. That's about it. Especially Triple H, because Great Khali could barely even fucking move in this match. Or ever. 2010, no, I skipped a year. 2009, my bad. 2009, he was feuding with, what's his name? With Randy Orton, and he was also, you know, feuding with Legacy, aka Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase. He needed someone for help, and he calls in the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and no one's seen Shawn Michaels ever since WrestleMania 25, so it's one of those, like, there's no reason for me to come back. I couldn't beat the streak, you know. You feel for Shawn Michaels, but, you know, everybody wanted Shawn Michaels to come back, and he does come back, and he has a good performance. You know, a lot of people hated DX, the PG DX. At the end of the day, they were always DX to me. I always loved them no matter what. But yeah, they were kind of corny and cheesy as fuck, but it was fine. It wasn't a horrible thing. I will admit the Hornswoggle thing was bullshit, because it was just stupid, because anytime you put Hornswoggle in anything, that's just a fucking nightmare to fucking deal with. Everybody hates Hornswoggle at this point, especially because he's a fucking asshole. If you actually, like, listen to him to Hornswoggle in interviews, he's a fucking bitch. You really gotta admit, Hornswoggle is a bitch. But that's besides the point. DX and Legacy, they had a really, really, really good match, really good tag team match. But the entrance is what got me. You have soldiers, you had a tank, you had like freaking fireworks everywhere. You know, DX had a fucking amazing entrance. That entrance was fucking incredible. So easily the best entrance of SummerSlam history, bar none for me, because you don't go big with DX, and especially that intro with basically them breaking the fourth wall. So that was pretty good from me, and yeah, that's all I'll say. You know, I feel bad for Legacy not getting a good rub. You know, Cody Rhodes tried his best to do the best that he can. Ted DiBiase just gave up on it, but at the end, we got a good match, a great match to say the least. One of the better things about 2009 SummerSlam. So yeah, kudos for that. 2010, he was out. He was just out apparently because of the whole they played a story that Sheamus injured him and shit. But I mean, it was fine. I didn't completely miss it. I mean, honestly, if Triple H was part of the Nexus storyline, Nexus would have been done before SummerSlam, to be perfectly honest. So there's that. 2011, he became COO. He was part of the referee. He was being the referee between Cena and Punk, which was a fantastic match. You should go back and watch. One of the more underrated Cena Punk matches, to say the least. It led to, the whole feud with Nash and Triple H, which was bullshit, just being honest. And then, there was that. Triple H kind of took some time off. But then 2012 was the year that Brock Lesnar came back. He wanted everything out of the company. He wanted Vince's limo. He just got power hungry, to say the least. You can really, really tell from this guy. And Triple H said, "No, I'm not having it. He's gonna have to, earn shit, not like everybody else, So Brock got pissed off. He breaks Triple H's arm with the Kimura lock, and then this leads to Triple H, Brock Lesnar, SummerSlam. And the feud was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed this feud. Very underrated, for my opinion, and a pretty good match at SummerSlam. A lot of people hate Brock and Triple H at SummerSlam. I'm one of those people who really enjoyed the match. I thought it was a really fun match, to say the least. A big dream match of mine. If I had to pick my favorite out of the Brock Triple H matches, it will have to actually go to Extreme Rules 2013. The Steel Cage match was fucking amazing. But this one was not that bad either. I thought this match was a really good match. There's a little break in the match where Brock Lesnar throws Triple H to the crowd or something, and they take like a little break. Brock Lesnar looked like a badass, and he needed to be, because there's no point in him beating the crap out of Cena and then still lose. So this is kind of like a way for Brock Lesnar to redeem himself. So I'm always happy about that. So can't really be mad about that part. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. This was the end of Triple H's long hair in matches. So after this, freaking Triple H goes bald, I guess. But yeah, Triple H had a pretty good resume at SummerSlam. He lost when he needed to, but he won a lot. So there's that. He had a pretty good score of 13 matches, record of 8 wins and 5 losses. My favorite matches that he had a lot of great ones. I mean, he had a very underrated match with Mankind. He had a pretty good ladder match with The Rock. He had a pretty underrated triple threat match between Mankind and Steve Austin. He definitely pulled off a great performance with the Great Khali. He teamed up a lot with DX or Shawn Michaels, to say the least. But Shawn Michaels versus Triple H 2002, can't top it. That's just taking the lead. That's easily the best match that he had. His worst match, just because of how disappointing it could, or how much better the match could have been, I'm gonna have to say Triple H versus King Booker from 2007. 2007, I just feel bad for that year. But yeah, that's it for Heroes of SummerSlam. Triple H, one more guy, and believe it or not, he's actually undefeated at SummerSlam. So stay tuned for that. It's me, the AYO Lee, XX Prince. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And until then, I'm out.